Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing well. In this video, we're going to take a very quick look on how to find the mean, median, and mode, which are the measures of the center and range, variance, standard deviation, measures of variations, and first, second, and third quartiles, measures of positions, or we can also call them measures of relative standing. And of course, the five number summary if you missed the previous video because it's very similar to the one we just did here. I showed you at the beginning how you can do this manually first. You can only go and do hit equal sign and hit average because average is equivalent to mean. So you select the data set, you hit enter, and that will be the average. If you want to find the median, you do the equal sign and hit median, and you select the data set, the whole data set in a one column. It's 150. And if you want to find a mode, you hit equal sign, you hit mode, and select the data set and equal sign, you find the mode. For the range, I mean, everything we do here is only manually. If we want to find the range, we know range is maximum minus the minimum. So what I do, I type max, select the data set, close parenthesis, minus, I type mean, take it from the job box mean, which for the minimum, select the data set, then close the parenthesis, we'll find the range. For the variance, it all depends on the standard deviation. We need to decide if we're dealing with a sample or a sample, or if we're dealing with a population. So looking at this data set, you know, looking at that data set, what it says, uh, you know, okay, I'm waiting for it. Looking at this data set, you see here it says a sample data. So because it says it's a sample, so what we can do, I can just hit here equal sign, that equal sign right there. I said variance, and for the variance, I will say VRL.S for sample. Then select the data set, close parenthesis, that would be the variance. And I'll do the same for standard deviation, ST D V TDEV.S for sample. I select the whole data set, and that will be the answer. For the quartiles, remember the measures of positions, we can just hit quartiles and select the whole data set. Now we need to say if we're dealing with the first quartiles with a comma, I can put 1 for first quartiles, 2 for second quartiles, 3 for third quartiles. Because it's first quartiles, I put 1. And when I do the second quartiles, I hit quartiles again, select the data set. Now, comma, 2 for second quartiles. If I want to do the third quartiles, again, don't forget the equal sign. We select the data set, comma, 3 for third quartiles, enter. For the maximum and minimum, two ways to do it. We can only hit mean from the job box, select the data, enter, we find a minimum, or we can do maximum the same way, MAX, and we select the data set, enter, you find the maximum. But if you want, you can sort the data from the smallest to the largest. If I go in data, sorry, I'm hoping my data is not, um, I'm hoping we can still work something out because it seems like it doesn't work. I'm waiting. All right, what I do, I don't know why this doesn't work because it doesn't show anything. So what I'm gonna do anyway, all right, I don't know what happened, but what I would do, maybe I would stop sharing and share again. Let's stop sharing. Now I share back. Let's hope it's working this time. If it's not working, then we're gonna stop there. All right. All right. So I think we get back to normal now. All right. Oh, oh my God. So for the minimum maximum, we can only copy, if I said, oh, minimum here is this one, maximum is these cells. No, no, that's the first quartiles. Let's do the first quartiles is this number. The second quartiles is 150. The third quartiles is one, uh, and the maximum is 172. But what I said from this data set, you could also select the data. You go in data and you sort your data from the smallest to the largest, right? So you see, you can sort the data from the smallest to the largest. You see, the smallest data is 128. The largest number data is 172. So we can go that way as well to select our data. Now, for the interquartile range, remember interquartile range is the Q3 minus Q1, and the upper limit and lower limit is help you to identify whether you have any outliers is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR, the interquartile range. And the upper limit is Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, which is interquartile range. Now, is there any data that's all below 107, 107? No, because the smallest one is 128, so there is no data below it. Okay. Is there any data above the upper limit, which is 191? No, no data above it. So we said no outliers, no potential outliers. All right. No data falls below and above the limits, then there is no outlier. Now, we're gonna go with something that is very easy to show you all these descriptive statistics. If you want to do it automatically in Excel, you select your data set in the first column, hit insert, and go in data. Now, upper right, you would see data analysis. You click on data analysis. If you don't know how to include it, in Excel, watch the previous video that I do exactly the same, except it's a different exercise, but I do it exactly the same. You click on data analysis and descriptive statistics, you do OK. Now, the range of your data is here. So let's suppose I didn't have the range, the input range. I could just click in the input range, and that's it. Now I set the labels in the first row. I check it and I said it's a colon. Now I said, where do you want me to put these tables, this descriptive, the statistics? I would do it in the same sheet here instead of doing a different ones. Let's do it right here. Okay, and I do summary. I don't change anything. I hit OK. Now, this is exactly the same thing we just did. The only difference now, let's do this data very quick. We would put it to two decimal places. Two decimal places. Compare the mean, median, mode. They are all the same. In this one, you see we do something very quick, by just clicking data. As you remember, you click data and you do data analysis, descriptive statistics. If you do data analysis, descriptive statistics, you do OK. You know the range of your data. We said it's in colon, and the first one is the labels. All right, and we take the summary. We can do it either in this page or in a different one. So that's very quick. And if you want to construct a box plot, because they ask you to construct a box plot to display the data, you select your box, your data. Now you go in, insert. Now, in graph where you see that insert statistic chart, we take box and whisker plot. This is it. This is our box and whisker plot. Of course, we can modify it if you want. Maybe put more data in a different ways. Like here, I would say it's a box plot. Okay. And, these data, I don't need to start from 0. If if I want, the smallest data is 128, I can start with 125, right? If I start with 125, okay, 180, 175, let's stop at 175, okay? If we want, do we really need to? Yeah, we don't need to. So this is our box and whisker part. So if you want, you can remove the lines and everything. I don't need that one right here on the horizontal axis. We have the most beautiful, it's all depends of what you want to add to it. If you want, we can add the axis and tells you in the axis. I don't need the horizontal axis. Okay. I can say for the vertical axis, it is definitely amounts of strontium 90. Okay, so we have the names for it like this, which is great. You can change the color if you want, but know that everything you do, if you want, you still have, you can add the labels if you want. It's gonna show you the minimum, the maximum, and you have all of this. The maximum is 172. The minimum is 128, and you see you have the first quartile, second quartile, and that's the five-number summary. Hopefully that's helped if you want, but I don't need to put the five-number summary in my box plot. But if you want, you leave it, or if you don't want, you can feel free to remove it anytime you want by just clicking off those. If you don't like gray also, you can remove it and keep it that way. At this point, this is your box and whisker plot that we don't even need to use the five-number summary. Hope that's helped you to do more in this chapter, because nowadays we're not only doing statistics manually, like we're doing a lot of exercises by hand. We need to use some Excel or StatCrunch, so we have so many different platforms that we can use to compute and perform these type of exercises. Let me know if you have any questions. Do not hesitate to use also your calculator, TI-83 and 84. You can Google to find how to use it. You can use Minitab, StatDisk, StatCrunch, and of course Excel. Then I use Excel with you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in a different video for more Excel to display quantitative and qualitative data. Take care.